Are we in the same team? We've got the same gear on, practically.
Well, my wife said I look like a 12-stone budgie.
I don't know about that, but you look fine. How are you, John?
I'm all right, thanks. Actually, do you think this is arthritis?
Oh,
But, as we say in Yorkshire, one day you're the dog and one day you're the lamppost. You know.
It's ups and downs, isn't it?
Touch wood, I'm OK, thank you.
You fit fine and well. Yeah, well, you just touch wood. Does that mean you're kind of superstitious?
Do you know, I've no superstitions at all, no. I think they're bad luck. And, I mean, some people are lucky and some aren't they? I mean, I had a cousin who was the unluckiest lad I've ever met in my life. He was an only twin. And, how's this for bad luck? He had a kidney transplant off a bedwetter, right? And recently he's blown up down and off with his airbag. And but he said to me one day, he said, if I'd have been born a sheep, I'd have been allergic to wool. Some people are obsessed with it. A woman came in my dressing room and she said to me, Johnny, she said, I can see things and forecast things. You know, I said, are you like a psychotic? She said, no, she said, I'm a visionary. She said, I want you to take this for good luck. And I said, what is it? She said, it's a rabbit's foot, it'll bring you good luck. I said, the rabbit had 4 of them, it didn't bring him any luck.
does that mean that... Do you read the horoscopes and things like that in the paper?
Oh, every day, yeah.
You don't,
I'm
John.
embarrassed to say I do. It's my star sign, you see, I'm a Sagittarius. And, well, I'm Taurus, but I'm just saggy. And, in fact, next month, it's the 39th anniversary of my 21st birthday. And, right... I thought that was funny, you know, but obviously I was mistaken. But I can't function till I've read the papers. I don't know about you. I get usually about the crack of noon, and I read Gary Bushell and everything, bits of funny. And trivia. I got one the other week. I read an interview out with Vanessa Feltz, and she said she enjoyed wearing a thong. And I thought, I thought that made my life complete, knowing that. And a thong, a G-rope, and... I was reading my horoscope and it said, it's a momentous day in your star sign, this. Your planets are in perfect alignment and your number is 5. So I looked in the racing pages and there was 5 meetings on that day. So I went to the 5th one like that. And the last race was at 5 o'clock. And there was a horse running it, believe it or not, called Lucky 5. I thought, I can't miss this, so I put £500 in it. And it came 5th.
Johnny, you know when you're a comedian, do people always feel the need to come up to you and tell you jokes?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
They do, don't they?
I don't, you know, you try and be well-mannered, because every now and again you get a diamond, you know. I've actually got my own Johnnie Casson website now, so I get gags on that now. And one day I'll be able to get them off the computer. But I was in my GP's and I said to him, I think I've got a fear of heights. He said, I've seen your act, don't worry, you'll never achieve any. He said,
Very nice.
But, no, I was in the caddy shack the other day and a fella told me this lovely story. There was a Catholic priest, a vicar and a rabbi. And they were discussing when life begins. And the Catholic priest said, at the moment of conception, when the egg is fertilised. And the vicar said, well, I don't think so. He said, it's when the baby's born and they cut that... What's that cord?
Umbilical.
The biblical cord, yeah. And when they cut the cord, that's when life begins. And the old rabbi shook his head, he said, no, you're both wrong. When the children leave home and the mortgage is paid off, that's when life begins.
Well, talking about kids, well, children, you got children, you got 3 daughters.
3 daughters, yeah.
Are they married?
No, they're not. They're all happy. And, they're all right. They've all got nice boyfriends, they're good girls. And one of them asked me, she said, how much does it cost to get married, Dad? I said, I don't know, I'm still paying. But you try and give them... marriage, it's an anagram of grim area. And but I told them, I said, you're going to have to kiss a lot of frogs before you meet Prince Charming, girls. And because on my wedding day, my granddad said to me, he said, Grandma and Granny said, our marriage is based on trust and understanding. She don't trust me and I don't understand her.
You spend a lot of time with your granddad, and we used to talk... All the times you were coming on our show, you were always talking about granddad.
Oh, he was a good guy. He used to race pigeons, and silly old sod, they beat him every time. And, but he was very famous in Yorkshire because he crossed a pigeon with a woodpecker, and, yeah, well, it could deliver a message and knock on the door when he got there. I mean, he was about 88 when he died, and his teeth were like pearls, you know, both of them. And I remember going to the house and they had an open coffin in the parlour like they do in Yorkshire, you know, and my grandma was sat there knitting a Yorkshire pudding. And one of his pals there, and he said, he looks really serene. He said, he's almost got a smile on his face. And my grandma said, well, he was always a bit slow on the uptake. He won't realise what's happened to him yet. You know?
What kind of work have you been doing recently?
But, like, the work's changed. I mean, I did I passed a club I used to do the other day, a strip club, and my stomach turned over, and I think I don't have to do them anymore. I was there one night in this stripper, and I just came off stage. She came off stage. I'm in the dressing room, stood by the sink, and she shut the door behind her like that, and she had this, like, a nightie on, you know, like a neggle jiggle. And she had a face like Louis Armstrong's voice. And she had buck teeth. I mean, they were well booked, you know. And, when she smiled, it looked like her nose were playing the piano, you know. And, unbelievable.
As always, John, you bring us smiles. Johnnie Casson.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Mel. Thank you.
Last time you were here, you were told us, well, you were telling us about your fitness. You were going to go into a fitness thing. You were going to go to the gym. Have you sort of...
Well, no, to be honest, no. You see, the only exercise I get nowadays is wrestling with my conscience and jumping to conclusions. And the problem is, when I was 30, I said no to alcohol, but it didn't listen. And look at me now, my skin don't fit me anymore. I had my shoes shined in London last week, and I had to take his word for it.
And you also said you were going to maybe stop watching as much TV and read more books. Have you done that?
You reading books?
Oh, yeah, I'm a book freak. And I buy books every day. I think it's been turning into an illness, Mel. It's not not an obsession, you know. I was in the bookshop the other day, and this beautiful girl there. She was very mellish, actually. And she had big brown eyes, and I said to her, I could live in your eyes. She said, will you be happy there? I've got a sty in one of them. I said to her, actually, I'm looking for a book. It's called Men, the Superior Sex and Masters Over Women. She said, you better look in the fiction section.
Now, most comics, Johnny, if we were to go back to their childhood... I know my mum used to say, oh, he's so funny when he was a kid. But were you a funny kid? Did you used to make the other kids laugh? I
was brought up in a happy household. We used to listen to the old radio shows, you know, comedy shows. And my dad was a musician, so there were always bags of laughs in the house. But I was never stuck for a retort. I found out... I don't know if I was funny or not, but I've always been able to react, you know, like... You know, when I was growing up, when you were a kid, I used to get blush easily. I was terribly embarrassed, you know. And when you're about 15 and awkward, I used to have one auntie, and you'd go to a family wedding, and she'd be like saying, you know, when they're doing the things at the altar, she'd be shouting to me, you'll be next, you'll be next. And I used to go purple like that. Anyway, a few years down the line, we started going to family funerals. So when the coffin's going in the ground, I'm pointing to her, you'll be next, you'll be next.
I mean... As I said, it was four times, so I suppose you get recognised more, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And it's lovely. I've got to admit I do like it. And people recognise me. They can actually they don't remember my name.
They don't remember your name?
No, but as soon as I open my mouth, they say, oh, it's him, that funny voice.
Do you remember you did There's a Kind of Night with Me with Shirley MacLaine?
Oh.
And she thought you were going to be the American comedian Johnnie Casson.
Yeah,
do you remember?
Yeah.
I love this man. What's his name? Who was just here?
Oh, Johnnie Casson.
Not Shirley MacLaine is one of the people I've always wanted to meet in my life. And my idol and my role model in life is Buddy Rich, the drummer. Yeah. And I wanted to meet her just to ask her about Buddy Rich and Sammy Davis. Yeah. And when I came off the set, I was like bamboozled, you know. And I walked around the set and she was stood there. And she put her arms around me and she said, you were so funny. And I went... I mean... I went to a golf club not long ago and they had a presentation after the golf tournament in the daytime. And they asked me if I'd give them a lift for the presentation. So I walk in at night and the fellow's on the microphone. He went, oh, here's a celebrity, Johnnie Casson, he'll help us. And as I got towards him, he said, yeah, come on, it's Johnnie Casson. And his daughter said, it's Casson, not Carson. It's Casson. So I did him 20 minutes or so, finished with a good gag, gave him the microphone back. He said, that was terrific. Thank you very much, Frank.
And we had Mick Miller on the show the other day.
Miller's he's a wonderful comedian, Mick. But you know, when I was in hospital, he came to see me, you know. And when you've had this heart operation, they encourage you to cough, but it's so painful that you can't cough. So you've got to hold a cushion against you when you cough. Or I had a Harrods teddy bear. And anyway, he came to see me, Mick, one day, and he came in the room like that, and I could see he was going to tell me a gag. So I got my teddy bear and held it against me like that, and he told me this joke about the travelling circus. They've been on the road for 30 years, and they're the worst 6 months that they've ever had. And the fella can't pay the wages. So what he did, we called all the emergency meeting, all the acts into the circus ring, and he said, ladies and gentlemen, I can't pay all the wages this month. He said, so I've decided I'm just going to play the strongman and the knife-throwing act.
Johnnie Casson!
Thank you.